This week on the Lords of Grantham podcast, we are talking the trailer for Bridgerton Season 4. We're beginning to hype ourselves up for that next season, and we're ready to talk about it. Let's go.
I'm bad, and I'm better than ever. Got a knack for making things better.
And Happy New Year. Happy holidays to the Lords of Grantham listeners. It's late saying it, but we're late getting to it. We're back. It's 2026. Corey, what's going on?
You know, just coasting into this new year, Dave. This is probably the longest unforced break that we've taken on the podcast in some time. It's just a few weeks taking it off.
And some might argue it was forced. So,
was it?
For those of you that don't know, I had the Downton Abbey cocktail book with me on two occasions, ready to record with you. In New Year's, I got very sick. Just a 24-hour stomach bug, but everybody in my house got it. And then we went to MagFest this past weekend in Maryland, and my cell phone broke at the event. So two big chunks of real estate where we were together, festive, down to have a few cocktails. Fate intervened and said, no, you guys need to take a couple weeks off. Hit the reset, hit the refresh. So we're back today to discuss the Season 4 trailer of Bridgerton and maybe make some predictions, talk about the show, and all that stuff. So, yeah. I mean, it was definitely not like last year when I had the kid and it was like, we're taking a few weeks off. It was like, oh, no, we're not going to be able to do it this week.
Yeah. No. This time it's just like, seasonal allergies and bugs and stuff going around.
Yep. But any news on the front of our shows in those off weeks?
Nothing major. Just the house from Poldark, Cotswold stone. That's what it's crafted from, but has served as Trenwith for Poldark, and also was in Rivals as the main house there for was it Ross
O'Hara's?
Yeah, in that show. So it featured on a Channel 4 series recently called Saving Country Houses with Penelope Keith. And so the house has recently been inherited by the grandkids of the owner, James Lowsley Williams and Emma, who are 33. And so this home is a 50-room pile that sits on 2,000 acres.
2,000 acres? That's a lot of acres.
Oh, yeah. And so the episode essentially covered what it takes to preserve this home, and especially with them now inheriting it. And so what they've found is that it is an expensive upkeep, Dave. Guess how much it takes to preserve Trenwith, as we may call it.
Is this like a single check one time, or
it's going to be every
monthly?
Year.
Every year? 100 grand?
350 to 400,000 euros.
Jeez.
So they said they had to find a way to get innovative about generating revenue. I don't know, maybe some more tours there.
Maybe you cut an acre or two, sell it.
Right.
We live where we live in, or where I live in Connecticut, where you grew up in Connecticut. Every time there's like a little lull, they knock down some trees and build a condo complex or an apartment building.
Yeah.
We're called the Poldark condos.
There's just too much history in this house to knock it out. But yeah, the episode airs, I guess, today as we're recording on Channel 4. But just an interesting tidbit there of like what looks nice on TV for TV shows isn't maybe all that well preserved in every way. Like there's pictures of the roof here and how it's like got some damp patches. So like, I mean, even when I walked around Highclere Castle, it didn't look like spiffy as you'd expect it to. There's age there.
That's the plot of the second movie.
Yeah, fixing the house.
One of the obstacles of the second movie is what do we do with this crumbling house?
Maybe
now we're 100 years removed from that, canonically.
Maybe that's the story they need for another season of Poldark. They don't know where to go from here. Maybe it's just renovating Trenwith. Maybe that's what they need to do for another season of Poldark.
Well, who's living in there in the end of Poldark? Jeffrey Charles and his George? Is George gone? I forget. It's been a while since we watched.
It's been a while. But yeah, Jeffrey Charles, I assume, would inherit it. And then he can do some renovations. It just follows him renovating Trenwith.
It's him and his ghost mom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's got to bring the Ghostbusters in too to exhume the house of its spirits.
Yeah, 1800s Ghostbusters.
I'd watch it. Sure, why not?
I would watch that. I would watch the life out of that show.
Yeah.
When at this point in time, the middle Jeffrey Charles, like our favorite Jeffrey Charles, has got to be like 25, 26 years old.
Right, because he grew up so fast. But anyways, that's the only real major news that was going on. Oh, there was actually one piece of news. I can't believe I glossed over it. But Michelle Dockery, as we know, she was very pregnant promoting the grand finale. She had her kid at 44. And the baby came out healthy. So I'm trying to look up more details about the actual baby itself. But she's been pretty private about it, for the most part.
Good for her. That's scary.
Yeah, at 44. I don't think there's much more information other than that she had it. So, congrats to her. Happy to hear
congratulations. She's an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And then first-time mom, right?
First time. It's a trend now, If you're not having a baby over 40, what are you doing? I should not say that, though. What do I know? I'm a man. I don't know anything about when to have kids. What am I saying here?
All our listeners are like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Just turn us off right then and there. But yeah, why don't we get to it? Why don't we get to talking about Bridgerton, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
So, season 4 is around the corner. And they released...
Sorry, I was just double-checking to see that Joanne Froggatt also, first child at 44.
It's the trend, man. It really is.
Sure. But yeah, Bridgerton season 4. The trailer came out a few weeks ago. We would have talked about it when we were drinking our Downton Abbey cocktails, but fate intervened.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, I don't know, controversial is the right word, but it's definitely drawn some discussions.
Yeah, and part of that is from understanding what the plot is about for a book from 24 years ago. Mm-hmm. I could have spoiled this for myself earlier, but if you take one look at that trailer, it becomes immediately obvious what the source of inspiration is for this season. So, Bridgerton season 4 is based off the third novel in the series, An Offer from a Gentleman. So, they had moved up Colin's story. I think they just felt that there was more heat to that one to do earlier. But yeah, Benedict's story is the third book, and it is based upon loosely Cinderella.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not unusual.
Doesn't seem loose.
No.
Seems very heavily based on Cinderella.
Directly. And it's not unusual for this series to take inspiration from, literary novels and other romance stories. So, like, the first season, there's, like, the fake relationship of, them putting on that they're together. Was it Phoebe Dyer and Regé Jean? But then they actually fall for each other. Season 2, they hate each other. And then they come together because Tony can't resist her. And then
season 3, they're like lifelong friends who become
right,
lovers.
Ugly Duckling to Beautiful Swan, and unrequited love and all that. And this one now is just so to the point, Cinderella. And I won't spoil later books, but one other is like very much taking from literary fiction. So yeah, my thoughts were, this is a little too on the nose for me.
Okay.
As much as I recognize the themes or the tropes of the previous seasons, I'm not looking for another Cinderella story. I mean, in some ways, these are already variants of Cinderella stories where, like, these romances you wouldn't expect to happen have happened. But this is like, she's a servant for her family. She gets a chance to go to a ball and dress up for a night, and then falls for Benedict. And Benedict falls for her, but it's all just, he doesn't know who it is. And it's like, I think it's more, how long can they actually stretch this out across like 8 episodes or so?
And it's also a situation where Benedict is now, so Benedict is the second from the top in the boy order, right? So it's what's his name? Season 2, Tony.
There's Tony, Colin,
and then Benedict, and then Colin is younger than Benedict.
Right. So
Benedict is now canonically in the story. He's like way too old to be doing this.
And I mean, they've done a good job of at least at fitting his character, though, that he's not married. He was kind of a playboy, swung both ways, it seemed like, early on in the show. And now it's
Went to art school?
Yeah, with the art school. And now he's decidedly like into a woman, it seems like, this season. So
yeah, was he the one who was he with a married woman last, or like a widow?
Yeah, I believe so. They're shacking up. And
it's been a while since we watched Bridgerton, and there's so many moving pieces in Bridgerton that it's like, my goodness, this
right.
is...
It was like one of the reasons why I kind of slowed down Benedict even getting paired off, because he was wasting his time on a woman that was not a realistic option, because she was older and did she like travel with a carnival or something like that, or she was like coming into town and not sticking around. Yeah, but surprised me, Bridgerton. Yeah, I mean, the show has been consistently good, I think, year over year. I don't feel there's been a bad season of Bridgerton yet, so I'm here for it to see what they do with it.
Yeah. I think I'm here for the Cinderella plot too. Like, I think that this show, we're in season 4, technically season 5 if you want to throw Queen Charlotte into the mix. Mm-hmm. Like, we've done. How else can we do this that's unique? And I think like an overt homage is something that none of the shows that we've watched have done. There's never been like a Downton season that's like Hamlet or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of great fiction is derived from other great fiction. Not to say Bridgerton's on the same level as, some of these other shows and films that
Jane
pull
Austen
from Shakespeare.
books.
You're the Lion King, Mm-hmm. But I think I'm excited for it, and I also think it's going to be an interesting way to play now that we're at the point where Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton don't seem to be going anywhere. Like, I think we're firmly at the point where, we lost Jonathan Bailey, we lost Regé Jean. Mm-hmm. We like those couples are out of the narrative. They have moved on to bigger and better things career-wise. So Bridgerton does not ask them to come back. But I think, with all due respect to Colin and Featherington, Penelope, I don't think they're moving beyond this in the current moment.
Well, I think I read somewhere that Jonathan Bailey will be back this season. I don't know to what capacity, but he may not.
He'll probably be back like he was last season for like one episode.
Just picking his face up from the lap of his wife and be like, "What up?"
Hey,
still here.
We'll take the Sharmas anytime.
I mean, in the trailer, they seem to show Colin and Penelope. She's going for a ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Well, she's a big part of the trailer because now she's exposed. I think that's another interesting thing. I think that they knew they couldn't pull the trigger. Maybe it's because Julie Andrews is 90 years old that they can't keep praying that she can make it another season. So we got to unmask. It's a fact of life. Yeah. Nicola Coughlan gets in front of it so that, in the event, Downton Abbey did it too. You wrote Maggie Smith's death into the plot, so that way it wasn't a shock and it happened in real life. We unmasked Lady Whistledown to be Penelope, so we have more runway to have Penelope do that. That's why I think that's one of the reasons why we flipped the book.
Yeah. But aside from that, I mean, it looks like there's going to be some romance again between Mother Bridgerton. Because they've been hinting at that for a while, starting with Queen Charlotte, that it's time for her to get out there in the world. And so we see her kind of edging her hand towards a man. I think we've met him before.
We've met him. We met him.
What's his name though? It's Lord Marcus Anderson. That's right. And he's the brother of the best character on the show. Whatchamacallit? Lady Agatha, right?
Yeah, Lady Danbury.
Yeah. Right, he's her brother.
See, this is good that we're doing this now, so that way when the show comes back, we'll be a little bit well-versed.
I asked Netflix to give us access to the episodes before they air. They have not responded to us, but that would be really
Come on, Netflix.
appreciated.
Don't you know who we are?
If anyone has a contact there that can get us the early access to the screeners, it would be helpful for us to stay on top of this season.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah,
I mean, I think that Mother Bridgerton, Lady Bridgerton, she was a highlight of Queen Charlotte. Mm-hmm. She's back here. Last season she was good. And I think if we learned anything from the Buccaneers, it's like the elder romance can really help boost the weight of the younger romance. You know, like a mature relationship coming together can help make a childish one a immature dog who's sowing his wild oats and decides to settle down. It'll make that seem a little more fun.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
I'm curious to see how they get together. Don't forget also that Hyacinth was getting close to Lord John Sterling last year.
Lord Sterling, yeah.
And
now, she was the one that she maybe she felt a spark towards a lady, right?
Yeah, she was side-eyeing some women. But it looked like they're still in each other's arms, as far as I can tell from this trailer. So
have we learned nothing from the Buccaneers? Don't make the queer characters. Go with the hetero character.
Don't string it out. But
I wonder if we can't give. I mean, I guess we can give her own season, but it doesn't seem like very logical to do that. You know, given. I mean, it makes sense, but I do feel like Eloise is like our age. We need to move. After this season, we gotta fast quicken Eloise's role.
Yeah,
she's literally a year younger than us. She's 36 years old.
Doesn't look it though. She looks great for her age though. So
she definitely does not. I mean, I guess she looks young, but she does not look 15.
Right.
Imagine if we got cast to be teenagers in a movie. It'd be like Walk Hard.
Well, speak for yourself. I could go for it. You know, the bald guy walking around high school.
Sure.
But Dave, they have announced the episodes' length and names of each of them. Do you care for me to share how long each of these episodes are?
Sure, let's do it.
So the first episode is called The Waltz. And the waltz will begin with preparations for Violet Bridgerton's masquerade ball, one of the highlights of the season. So I guess we're going to get the ball rolling with, you know, the helper, Sophie, you know, going to that ball to meet Benedict. But it will be 63 minutes, that first episode.
Okay. Good length. Not over long, but long.
Episode 2, it is time transfixed. It is 65 minutes long.
Okay.
And there's a time skip. I will not reveal how long, but it takes some time after the first episode, allegedly. Third episode, The Field Next to the Other Road. It is 70 minutes long.
Okay. Now you're... At first I was like, okay, first one's going to be long, then we're going to slow down. No, I guess we're just in it for the long haul now.
Then the fourth episode, that would be the cliffhanger before the back half of the season premieres, will be an
45
offer.
minutes.
No, an offer from a gentleman for 63 minutes. So
60-ish minutes is our...
Each episode will be a full hour at least.
Great.
Netflix, could you really help us out here? we could stand to watch these episodes earlier. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, give us some time.
Yeah.
We want to be well-versed.
But we're here for it, you know, ready to cover another season. Like, the more we get away from each season, it's more like, man, that show's just fun. I'm like always glad when it comes back. I know some of our dedicated listeners are like, why are you covering that show? It's not as serious as some of the other dramas. It's still fun. It's a period drama.
It's great. I mean, it's what are we, 4 years removed from season 1? Season 1 2021 or 2020?
Season 1 was 2021.
So, or 5 years. I guess that's 5 years ago.
It's been a
that's
while.
pretty wild.
It premiered in
and also
2020.
like,
wow, December 25th, 2020. So 5 years. Yeah.
We are entrenched in Bridgerton as part of the pop culture, and I don't know. I guess there's a certain part of me that's like, if you want your period dramas like Downton and the Gilded Age, they're not going anywhere. Like Jay-Z said, you want to hear his old stuff, buy my old albums. Like,
yeah.
To me, Bridgerton and to a lesser extent the Buccaneers are like moving the medium to a more accessible and younger place, which in turn brings more eyes to Gilded Age and Downton and Poldark.
Yeah.
You know, would you rather, in my opinion, I will take 1,000 Bridgertons over season 1 of The Crown.
Oof, that's
very
a hot
stuffy.
take. Okay.
It's very. I like the pace of Bridgerton much more than like stuffy romance, or not romance, period piece that's like full of boring characters that are like meandering. Bridgerton moves.
Yeah, but if I had to say, like, Bridgerton's at its worst when it's at its most obvious, which is my concerns for this upcoming season, where it's like we know the story, and when it plays to the tropes, sometimes it can be a little uninvolving, especially when the episodes run over an hour long. So it is fun and frothy, but like I don't know if I'd say I'd give it up for something meaty like The Crown. Not to say that every season of The Crown was a grand slam, and especially this is true of The Crown too. When they made up stories that just didn't happen, that was the show at its weakest, when they were just kind of like treading water. So I don't know. There's just something I liked when I felt like I was learning something from that show. That I'm glad I watched that show. But
oh yeah, I'm not trying. The Crown is not my least favorite show that we watched either. Okay. I'm just saying it's maybe the driest.
Sure, that's fair. Not enough sex as they have in Bridgerton, and that they were.
Well, no, there's a lot of butt in the first season, and that's it.
It is still confounding to me how the show, more or less, is targeted towards teenagers. I think, and it has a healthy abundance of sex in it, which I'm not complaining about. I'm cool with it. It's just more the marketing for it. It's just like, it's decidedly mature for its audience, but.
Yeah, I guess when we were in high school, we were watching like horror movies and action movies and stuff like that are just incredibly violent. So
yeah,
maybe you skew female and it just becomes more sex themes than like
maybe it's the
John Wick shooting people, or
right.
Neo for us.
To that point, maybe that's the American in me thinking like, oh no, sex. But when I'm a teenager, I'm watching 24 with Jack Bauer waterboarding people. I'm like, yeah, right on.
Like, here we go, dude.
Yeah, no, and that's not okay. So, surprised me, Bridgerton. Though, I mean, I'm curious to see where the season goes.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely I'm excited. I think we've been like Gilded Age was excellent, and like holy smokes, they make really great. Like this show is as good as it's ever been, if not better. This is one of the best single seasons of TV that we've watched since starting this podcast 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I hope that Bridgerton rises to the occasion. I like season 2 more than season 3.
That's fair.
But people like season 1 the best. I like season 2 the best. Maybe that's what we can talk about next week, is like Bridgerton overall and our expectations and our favorite couples or something like that. Just to continue to prime for the show.
Okay, because I was going to have a conversation of do you think Colin Bridgerton is up to the task to be the hunk of the show? But maybe we can table that for next week.
You mean Benedict?
I mean, Benedict, yeah.
I think he's ready.
Well, let's save it for next week. If we're going to talk next week.
So let's throw down the gauntlet right now. If you're listening to this podcast and you're curious or have questions about our Bridgerton coverage, feel free to send questions on Instagram, email, all the stuff that Corey plugs at the end. Any sort of rankings or offhanded lists you think we should do of our favorites or least favorites that don't relate to our, power rankings at the end of every season, let us know. There's a lot of meat on the bone to talk about, and I think I'm going to need to prep in some capacity. I feel like I'm very out of touch with Bridgerton. When did season 3 air?
That aired summer of 2024, so a year and a half ago.
So, and when did we watch it on the show?
We watched it.
We watched it concurrently. We watched season 2 on Patreon.
Yeah, season 4 we more or less covered. I think we were wrapping up another show around that time, so we covered it right after it finished. And so this one will be the first time as it airs we'll be talking about it. The only thing is, the first 4 episodes will drop, and it will be a month until the second half, and then people, I assume, will just binge the second half of the season and probably not come back around, but we'd appreciate it if you do, because we'll be talking about for a full month the back half of that season.
Take your time, make it like old times, like when you watch 24.
Yeah, week by week, just slowly ingesting it. But yeah, I think that's all we got to say this week. Not much to really say from that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, we do get to see Benedict painting, which is good.
Yeah, I hope
the art school is back.
Improved.
Yeah, there's a lot of couples and stuff. I'm excited to take the week, do a little research, and come back prepped to talk about season 4 and seasons 1 to 3.
Yeah. I am too, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait, I'm just looking too where we last covered Bridgerton. So I think we were covering The Crown. We were wrapping up the last season of The Crown, which then ran into season 4 of Bridgerton. And we're like, we can just wait a few weeks and then cover Bridgerton because we got to finish The Crown.
Oh yeah, here I am running my mouth. Yeah. August 20th, 2024 is our last Bridgerton episode.
Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know if it's good to tease this now, Dave, because we're always just trying to map out what's our content for the year. What are we going to be watching? I know there was a lot of talk about the Forsyte Saga, and that should be airing late March on PBS. So that's tentatively on the schedule of after we wrap up covering this new season of Bridgerton, getting ahead of ourselves here. But maybe we take on the Forsyte Saga, which we heard isn't that great. But I assume we can use it as a way to dip our toes. And I know everyone said watch the original before watching the new Forsyte Saga. We may do it backwards. We're going to watch the new one, and then maybe watch the old one.
Get disappointed, and then watch the old one. Well, when's the old one? Like the early 2000s?
Yeah, like 2002, with Damian Lewis from Fackham Hall and Homeland and all that stuff.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
I know people have been asking about us to watch that show for years at this point, so giving it its due.
Well, yeah, nothing says a trendy podcast like watching a 20-year-old show. So.
Nothing at all.
Well, maybe that'll be our Patreon. We can do an ambitious Patreon project concurrently or something. I don't know.
We can try.
But next week, we'll be back with thorough Bridgerton coverage. Send us questions. Send us suggestions. Send us your hot takes. We will talk about them.
Yeah. Well, until then, Dave, have you been watching anything else?
Yeah, so I was sick. When I'm sick, I can only watch things that are like kind of joyless. It's my only way to get through having like a stomach bug where I can't watch funny things because it makes me hurt.
Yeah.
So I watched the Diddy documentary.
Oh God,
which was fascinating. And then I talked about things that hurt to watch. Stranger Things, I finished.
Well, what was the harder watch, Dave?
Honestly, Stranger Things was the harder watch.
What was more disappointing, I guess, is a better question.
In humanity, obviously, the Diddy thing.
Obviously.
But as far as entertainment is concerned, I think Stranger Things kind of dropped the ball at the end.
Well, let's go into it, Dave. Where did Stranger Things drop the ball? So now Netflix can deny us getting early access to Bridgerton.
I feel like it was like what other show? Game of Thrones kept offing people till the end, but like there was no stakes. I felt like the stakes went away. No one was dying. No one was getting hurt.
I mean, no one's really died on that show. I mean, I guess they brought in Eddie in season 4 just to off him. No one's died on that show for a while. They never touched the central cast, really. So like, I never had that expectation that there was going to be some major...
Well, there's so many grown-ups, you know?
Yeah.
We got Hopper, especially with all the hot water Harper's been in. Wouldn't it be nice for him to just like, hey, everybody, I'm going to go into exile. You won't see me in the Legacy sequel in 10 years.
But maybe in a spin-off where I'm the sheriff of a new town.
Montauk, right? He's going to Long Island.
Yeah. No, I mean...
Did you like it? You watched it.
Yeah, I didn't have any New Year's plans, and so I was just cranking beers watching it.
It's probably the best way to do it.
I think it is, because it's just like, at the first, it's like, this is the dumbest thing I've seen. This is literally the Linkin Park music video from In the End, and like, that's fine. They're firing assault rifles at a big spider thing from 500 feet away. This makes no sense. It looked like
Starship Troopers.
I mean, look, I've never been a big Stranger Things fan. Like, for me, the first season is incredibly derivative of, like, very good 80s music movies. And it does a pretty good job of, like, being a pastiche of those things. And the music's great. And the kids are actually, really effective. But as it carried on, they didn't really bring in much new music to like, really, it's like kind of, well, I guess Running Up the Hill, they made it popular again. But, like, it's like the same theme song every year. The kids getting worse as they get older. Running out of material from 80s movies to crib from, to the point where they don't even have any new ideas by the last season. Like, the show has just been low and long balloon that's been letting out air. And not to say there hasn't been fun moments. I really like season 3 where they're trapped in the mall. I felt that was a good kind of compression.
I love season 3.
Yeah. But I could care less either way with how it was going. And then, like, watching this final season is like, who cares? I really don't care. It's been too long. They've really teased it out way too long for me to even care at all or remember what happened. And then it's funny. People get caught up in the continuity errors of like the door was flipped around to the point where they're deluding themselves to think there would be another episode to close it all off. I'm more hung up on things like, why is Millie Bobby Brown in like the ugliest one piece in this climactic battle? Where like get some costume designer in there to like make it look cool. Like what is, or opening of spider or like in the thing desert to then land in like a desert floor or like a sand floor inside the thing. Like what sense does that make? It just, I don't know, it just seems like lazy all the way around. But I gotta say though, the thing that worked for me though was the ending. I did like the way that people want to say it's open-ended, and I guess it is. But I did like them putting the button on it, like bringing it back to Dungeons and Dragons and like the kids in the basement. I did, that
was
land.
Great.
But it was so long of a goodbye. Like I just can't care.
Mm-hmm. And I think they really thought like milking this season into like 3 parts would be advantageous and make people anticipating even more. But it just made me like, all right, I guess I got to wait another week to watch this.
It felt like a burden over the holidays where it's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving, but people are already talking about these episodes. I got to catch up. Oh, it's Christmas. I guess I got to watch it. New Year's.
I guess I got to leave New Year's.
But they deliberately do that because Netflix wants to keep people on the hook through the new year so they can count their users as being subscribed through Q4 into then Q1, yada, 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 and so forth. But Dave, do you think 11 is alive?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe not on Earth. Maybe in the Upside Down.
Yeah, I think the character is only as alive as they need her to be. Like for me, she should be dead because otherwise you just have a limp ending with no, as you said, no stakes and no ramifications for everything they've gone through. Like it really means something for her to sacrifice herself. And it's poignant then for the kids to kind of eulogize her like that through storytelling. Mm-hmm. But then to bring her back would just take the piss out of all of it, I think. So.
Yeah, well, it's gone now.
Yeah. Wait, so tell me more about the Diddy doc, Dave.
What do you want to know? I thought it was gonna. So a friend of ours is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and he posted something like, "How crazy is it that there's already a Diddy documentary as this stuff is happening months ago?" And I was like, "Whatever, you're just talking out of your behind." So I watched this documentary, and it doesn't get into the like modern accusations until like episode 4 of 4.
Are they just telling the background of Diddy's career?
Kind of, and they talk about how there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know. Like, I guess he promoted a show in the city when he was like 21, and like 9 people died at the show.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't remember that. You know, like I wasn't watching like VH1 in the early aughts when they were running behind the music and stuff like that. But he's, you know, they connect him directly to Tupac and Biggie's murders in a way that's like, it asks the question of like, is it possible?
No, I see that. Yeah, that's why I did, because it was produced by 50 Cent, and there's a degree of editorialization there where like I think it's kind of like maybe I need to watch it, but I just think it's kind of wrong to bring up these deaths from like 30 years ago and then like loosely tie it to someone, you know. When there's there's been so many investigations.
He's tied to them, you know. Like there's no world where he's not related to at least Tupac. Tupac got shot at a studio in New York. That's like very, you know, to me that all signs point to Sean Combs.
Papa Diddy Combs. That must hurt, Dave, because listeners may not know this, but you performed "Bad Boy for Life" back at a talent show when we were teenagers.
I played the bass part to it. I didn't like sing it.
You weren't doing any of the stuff that Diddy did to really engage.
I wasn't in a Ben Stiller wasn't my neighbor.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, it's. I don't love true crime. It gives me the ick. But like I said, when I'm sick, I got to watch like stuff that's happened that's not gonna excite me. I need to just like have it on and be disgusted so my body can push out the negative energy.
All right.
Have you been watching anything good?
Trying to catch up on The Pit before it comes back. It's already come back. I'm behind on that. Great show. And then Traitors is back. So just. They do 3 episode drop to start. and I feel like I'm already behind again. Another show where every episode's an hour for what no reason I don't know, but I have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a show that benefits, I think, from a fast forward. Actually, like the opening where they're sitting around waiting to see who's dead. I can just put that on my phone, fast forward like 5 minutes. There's certain moments on that show where it's like I don't need to see this. Like the challenges, like
Yeah, they're not very thrilling.
No, but the interactions between the cast are fun. It's been pretty fun so far.
Interesting cast. I've only watched the first one.
Okay. I won't spoil anything because it goes.
Yeah,
all
I think
over
I
the
might
map in the
turn one
second episode.
on after we're done here.
Well, I think with that, we'll give you your time back, listeners. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week to just hype up Bridgerton one more time before we begin the season in earnest. You know where to find us, lordsofgrantham@gmail.com. You can sign up for our Patreon, get access to our Lords of Grantham Lounge, and as Dave was floating, we may have some content this year for you, if we were to watch the Foresight Saga. But leave us 5-star rating review wherever you listen to us, Spotify, iTunes, and yeah, we'll catch you next time on the pod.
Yeah.